guys, let's review a game. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Zod. Wanted to give you my quick thoughts on Eastward. It's a RPG that came out about a week ago, indie game. It's on the Switch and on Steam. I'm not sure if it's on any other platforms currently. I'm sure it will be. Seems like a good game to put on like your Game Pass or like your PlayStation Plus. But yeah, it was developed by Pixel Pill. I was not able to find another game listed that they've made. If there is another game that they've made, definitely like listed in the comments below. Publisher was Chucklefish. They made what? Starbound, Risk of Rain, Stardew Valley, Eastward, this game, obviously. And Starmancer, which is another game. I think it's still in beta. I'm not sure if it's out yet. I actually, full disclosure, know the brother of one of the guys who's developing Starmancer, which is kind of interesting. It's not related at all. It's just something I put out there. My overall thoughts on the game is really, really good. It reminds me of old school like Earthbound and like Zelda games, like old school like A Link to the Past, like top-down RPGs, like pixel RPGs, or like more recently like your Octopath Traveler. Although that game's a little more grand in scale than this one is. For the price of around $20, it's 20 US dollars I think you can get it for, and I've seen people get it for cheaper than that on different places. On Steam and Nintendo Switch, it's a total steal. I mean, guys, let's be honest, like, we play games that are $60 and $70 now, and they're terrible and they're broken, and this game is not, and it's kind of refreshing. That one of my favorite games of the year, and I mean that when I say that, is a $20 game. It's kind of crazy. Let's get into the pros of this game. I will put some footage of the game in. I'm only going to put footage from the beginning of the game in to try and avoid as many spoilers as possible. But I have almost completed the game. I've played, I think, enough where I feel comfortable reviewing it. The graphic style is amazing. Like I said, it reminds me of Octopath. It's a bit of that like pixel art, but it's like not like kind of style. Because there's like things like waterfalls and grass and things like that, that are like sort of 3D. I don't really know how to describe it. If somebody in the comments maybe, it's beautiful. Also, everything is odd. So like there's like NPCs that look like they have cars on their head, and there's like a damn NPC. It looks like he has a fish head, but I think it's a mask. It's not like anything I've ever played before. As far as like the actual pieces of art, not the art style. Let's move on to the combat. So combat is super fun. It's what you would sort of expect from your like old school type RPG. You have a weapon, you use melee. But the thing that's interesting about this game is not only do you have weapons you can swap back and forth, like guns and different things like that. I won't spoil them, bombs and a little bit of magic. You can also swap characters and use those characters like combos. So you can throw one attack out from a character and then swap to that other character and then use his abilities, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, I really enjoy the combat in this game. The only bad thing I'd say about the combat in this game is the distance. As far as there's no roll dodge that I found yet, and the distance to some of like the AoE attacks and the distance to your melee attack and like how things respond to it can be a little weird sometimes, and you'll take damage when you're like, no, like I was clearly standing out of that, which is, I guess, is sort of normal in those kind of games. There is no leveling system in this game, but there are accessories you can upgrade, like backpacks and bomb packs and things like that. And you can upgrade your weapons. I will tell you that the items you use to upgrade those are sort of sparse, so you definitely want to sort of pick and choose that. That leads me to exploration. So the exploration is really fun. You definitely want to, if pro tip, there is an item called a treasure radar you can buy in the beginning of the game. It's not a spoiler. Buy that item because it will beep when there's things around you, and generally when something beeps around you, you can sort of figure out a way to get to the treasure. Occasionally you have to go to like another room and then like circle back, but it's definitely worth getting. At some point, I have so much currency in that game now that I don't know what to spend it on, which is kind of crazy because I explored. Let me move on to probably my most favorite part of this game is the puzzling. So the puzzling in like the dungeon areas is awesome. It doesn't hold your hand at all. It's like, it reminds me of Link to the Past, where like there's clearly a puzzle in a room you need to figure out, but it doesn't hold your hand at all. They will do small things like they'll introduce like a game mechanic, and you sort of have to use that to solve the puzzles and like traverse the dungeon areas and stuff, but it does not hold your hand at all. I really, really, really appreciate that, but it's not too hard. The dungeon areas are also fairly long, and they're not, you don't really have to do a lot of circling back. You have to like find a key, unlock a door, things like that. But because they're that long, they feel really like immersive, and all the different dungeon areas are like, they're different. And like as far as like art style, like they're all very different and they're all very fun. Let me get into some of the things I don't like about this game. The list is sort of short. And probably the thing I hated the most about this game, well, hate's maybe a strong word, was the dialogue. The dialogue in this game is super, super long, and the cutscenes are super long. I mean, I'm not exaggerating when I swear it was 20 minutes of a whole portion of the game that was characters talking and like walking around. If that's not something you like, then that's not something that's for you. I don't prefer it, but I like the game enough, and it's well written. Like the story is really well written. It's just a long, and you can't skip them. Long cutscenes and dialogue. It's a lot of reading. Some people like that kind of stuff. People who typically like old school RPGs like that kind of stuff. I don't prefer it, but it's okay. I still like the game a lot. It doesn't necessarily take away from it. I would say something that's funny is the story gets really grim at some points, and I won't spoil it. They even go as far as to reference the Night Stalker, like Richard Ramirez, which is kind of nutty. They have the clown, essentially the clown Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter. He's like this like sort of secretly evil, I don't know, clown who like calls himself the Night Stalker. It's not a spoiler, but it's really, really, really deeply creepy. Yeah, that would probably be my biggest gripe with the game. There is one portion of the game that involves you being chased by something, and I'm not going to ruin it, but it's pretty aggravating. It took me probably 30 minutes to get through it. I kept dying repeatedly, and I was getting really frustrated with it. It sort of comes out of nowhere, but you'll know when you get there. When you know, you know. The damage received from some of the enemies is a little unbalanced. Like some enemies will hit you for 1 heart, and some enemies will hit you for like 3, and there doesn't really seem to be any rhyme or reason to it. It just sort of is what it is, and I don't really know. Like, it's sort of a gripe, I guess, a little gripe, like a nitpick, but yeah, it's something to sort of watch. You can also negate that by definitely carry tons of like healing items on you, and you'll be fine. But yeah, my overall thoughts, like I said, on the game, I really, really, really like this game. It's especially for the price, it's a steal. This is probably going to be on my game of the year list. And if you like my video, definitely feel free to like and subscribe. Catch me on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/GarrettZod. I love all your faces, and I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Peace.